Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we focus on practical, research-backed health information specifically for adults over 60. No hype, no miracle cures, just real food, real science, and real steps you can take starting today. Now, the food we're talking about today is broccoli. And before you roll your eyes or click away thinking this is just another boring vegetable lecture, hear me out. Because what researchers have discovered about broccoli in the last decade goes far beyond eat your greens. We're talking about a compound inside this vegetable that activates specific genetic pathways responsible for repairing damaged DNA and instructing damaged cells to destroy themselves before they become cancerous. That compound is called sulforaphane, and the science behind it is remarkable. Let me walk you through exactly what it does, how it works in aging bodies specifically, how much you actually need, and the best way to prepare it so you don't accidentally destroy the very compound that makes it so powerful. Let's start with why this matters so much for those of us past 60. Think of your DNA like an instruction manual. Every cell in your body carries a copy. When you're young, your body has efficient proofreaders, enzymes that catch errors, fix breaks, and keep everything running smoothly. But as we age, those proofreaders get slower. They miss things. Environmental damage accumulates. Decades of sun exposure, processed foods, stress hormones, even the normal byproducts of breathing oxygen create what scientists call oxidative stress. By the time you reach your 60s and 70s, your cells have accumulated thousands of tiny DNA errors. Most are harmless, but some land in the wrong spot, in genes that control cell growth. And when those genes get damaged without repair, a cell can start dividing out of control. That's cancer in its earliest, most preventable stage. Here's the encouraging part. Your body hasn't given up. It still runs DNA repair programs every second of every day. The question is whether you're giving it the raw materials and the signals it needs to do that job effectively. And that's where broccoli, specifically sulforaphane, enters the picture. Sulforaphane is a natural compound found in cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli contains the highest concentration, especially broccoli sprouts, which can have up to 50 times more than the mature vegetable. Now here's how it works in simple terms. Inside your cells, there's a protein called NRF2. Think of NRF2 as a master switch. When it gets activated, it turns on over 200 protective genes responsible for detoxification, inflammation control, and critically, DNA repair. Under normal circumstances, NRF2 stays dormant. It's held in place by another protein that keeps it locked down until it's needed. Sulforaphane is one of the most potent natural activators of NRF2 ever discovered. When you eat broccoli and sulforaphane enters your bloodstream, it essentially flips that master switch. Suddenly, your cells ramp up production of repair enzymes. They increase output of glutathione, your body's most powerful internal antioxidant. They enhance the machinery that identifies and eliminates cells with irreparable DNA damage, a process called apoptosis. That word simply means programmed cell death. Your body's way of taking out the garbage before it becomes dangerous. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University first identified this mechanism in the early 1990s, and since then, hundreds of studies have confirmed and expanded on those findings. A 2020 study published in the journal Cancer Prevention Research showed that sulforaphane reduced the growth rate of prostate cancer cells by triggering exactly this DNA repair and apoptosis pathway. Another study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences found that elderly participants who consumed broccoli sprouts daily showed measurable increases in their cells' antioxidant capacity within just 7 days. 7 days. From eating a vegetable. Let me be clear about something. No single food cures cancer. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you, and you deserve better than that. But what the research overwhelmingly supports is that sulforaphane creates an internal environment where cancer cells have a much harder time surviving and spreading. It works through multiple mechanisms simultaneously. First, it supports phase 2 detoxification enzymes in your liver. These enzymes neutralize carcinogens, cancer-causing chemicals from grilled foods, environmental pollution, even certain medications, before they can damage your DNA. Second, it inhibits something called angiogenesis. Tumors need blood supply to grow. They send out chemical signals that cause new blood vessels to form and feed them. Sulforaphane has been shown in laboratory studies to interfere with that signaling, essentially starving early-stage tumors of nutrients. Third, and perhaps most relevant to seniors, it reduces chronic low-grade inflammation. You might have heard doctors use the term inflammaging, the slow, persistent inflammation that increases as we get older and creates a fertile ground for cancer development. Sulforaphane dials that inflammation down by inhibiting NF-κB, a protein complex that acts like an inflammation amplifier. A large observational study from the Shanghai Women's Health Study followed over 74,000 women and found that those who ate the most cruciferous vegetables had a significantly lower risk of developing colorectal, lung, and breast cancers compared to those who ate the least. The protective effect was strongest in women over 60. Now here's where most people get it wrong. And honestly, this part frustrated me when I first learned it, because I'd been doing it incorrectly for years. Sulforaphane doesn't actually exist in broccoli until you break the plant's cell walls. What exists inside the broccoli is a precursor compound called glucoraphanin and a separate enzyme called myrosinase. When you chop, chew, or crush raw broccoli, those two come together and create sulforaphane. The problem? Myrosinase is extremely heat sensitive. If you throw broccoli directly into boiling water or microwave it at full power for several minutes, you destroy the enzyme before it can do its job. No enzyme means no sulforaphane. You've just eaten hot green water with some fiber. So here's the method that research supports. Chop or crush your broccoli, then let it sit for at least 40 minutes before cooking. During that resting period, myrosinase converts the glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. Once that conversion is complete, the sulforaphane itself is relatively heat stable, so you can then lightly steam it, 3 to 4 minutes maximum, without losing the beneficial compound. Alternatively, if you've already cooked your broccoli without that waiting period, you can add a pinch of mustard seed powder to the cooked vegetable. Mustard seeds contain their own myrosinase, which can rescue the conversion process even after cooking. A small study from the University of Illinois confirmed this trick works remarkably well. Just half a teaspoon of mustard powder restored sulforaphane production in fully cooked broccoli. And if you really want maximum potency, consider broccoli sprouts. You can grow them on your kitchen counter in a mason jar. They're ready in about 5 days, they taste mildly peppery, and they contain dramatically higher concentrations of sulforaphane precursors than mature broccoli. You can toss a small handful into a sandwich, a smoothie, or simply eat them plain with a pinch of salt. If you're over 60 or if you're caring for a parent, a spouse, or an elderly loved one, this information could genuinely change their health trajectory. Something as simple as how you prepare a vegetable can be the difference between getting its cancer-fighting benefits or missing them entirely. Consider sharing this video with someone you love. It takes 2 seconds and it might matter more than you think. A common question is how much broccoli you actually need to eat daily to see benefits. Based on the available clinical research, most studies showing measurable effects used quantities equivalent to about 1 cup of raw broccoli or 1 to 2 tablespoons of broccoli sprouts per day. That's not an overwhelming amount. It's a side dish, a topping, a handful added to your morning eggs. Consistency matters more than quantity. Eating a massive plate of broccoli once a week is less effective than a modest serving every single day. Sulforaphane clears your system within about 72 hours, so regular intake keeps those NRF2 pathways consistently activated. For those who struggle with chewing raw vegetables due to dental issues, a very common concern for seniors, blending broccoli sprouts into a smoothie with banana and a bit of yogurt works perfectly. The blending action breaks the cell walls just as effectively as chewing, and the flavor is easily masked. Beyond DNA repair and cancer prevention, sulforaphane has shown benefits in several areas particularly relevant to seniors. Brain health is one. A 2018 study in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research found that sulforaphane reduced neuroinflammation markers in older adults and improved scores on cognitive assessments. The NRF2 pathway it activates is the same one being studied as a potential therapeutic target for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Joint inflammation is another. Many seniors live with osteoarthritis pain daily. Sulforaphane has been shown to block enzymes that destroy cartilage, potentially slowing joint deterioration. Researchers at the University of East Anglia conducted a clinical trial specifically on this topic and found enough evidence to warrant larger-scale studies. Blood sugar regulation also benefits. Sulforaphane improved fasting glucose levels in a randomized controlled trial of type 2 diabetics published in Science Translational Medicine. For the millions of seniors managing blood sugar through diet, adding broccoli is a meaningful, zero-risk addition to their approach. Heart health rounds out the picture. Chronic inflammation damages arterial walls over decades, and by reducing NF-κB activity and oxidative stress, sulforaphane helps protect cardiovascular tissue from further degradation. 1 vegetable compound, multiple systems supported, no prescription required. A few practical notes. If you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, be aware that broccoli contains vitamin K, which can interact with your dosage. This doesn't mean you can't eat broccoli. It means you should eat a consistent amount daily so your doctor can adjust your medication accordingly. Sudden large increases or decreases in vitamin K intake are what cause problems, not steady consumption. If you have thyroid concerns, very large quantities of raw cruciferous vegetables can theoretically interfere with iodine uptake. For most people eating normal dietary amounts, a cup or two daily, this is not a clinical concern. But if you have diagnosed hypothyroidism, mention your broccoli intake to your endocrinologist at your next visit. And one more thing many seniors overlook: frozen broccoli. Commercial frozen broccoli is typically blanched before freezing, which destroys most of the myrosinase enzyme. It still contains fiber and vitamins, but you'll get minimal sulforaphane from it unless you add that mustard seed powder trick I mentioned earlier. Fresh broccoli or homegrown sprouts are your best options for the DNA repair benefits. Let me give you a realistic daily approach. Morning option. Blend 1 tablespoon of broccoli sprouts into a fruit smoothie. You won't even taste them behind the banana and berries. Lunch option. Chop a cup of fresh broccoli florets. Set them on your cutting board while you prepare the rest of your meal, then steam them lightly at the end. Add a squeeze of lemon. The vitamin C actually enhances sulforaphane absorption. Dinner option. Raw broccoli florets dipped in hummus or a yogurt-based dressing as a pre-dinner snack while your main course cooks. The point is, this doesn't require a lifestyle overhaul. It requires a small, repeatable habit. 1 cup. Every day, chopped and rested or eaten raw. That's the prescription. Let's bring this together. Your DNA takes damage every day. After 60, your repair systems slow down and accumulated errors increase cancer risk. Sulforaphane, concentrated in broccoli and broccoli sprouts, activates the NRF2 master switch, turning on over 200 protective genes that enhance DNA repair, promote destruction of damaged cells, reduce chronic inflammation, and support detoxification of carcinogens. The preparation method matters enormously. Chop and wait 40 minutes before gentle cooking, or eat it raw, or add mustard seed powder to cooked broccoli to restore the enzyme conversion. 1 cup daily, consistent intake, fresh over frozen, sprouts for maximum potency. No pill, no supplement, no expensive treatment, gives you this exact combination of benefits with 0 side effects and a cost of about 50 cents a day. You've spent your whole life taking care of others, your kids, your family, your community. This is something small and quiet you can do for yourself, every single day. A handful of green florets standing between your cells and chaos. Your body is still fighting for you. Feed it what it needs to win. If this video helped you understand something new about how food protects your body at the cellular level, hit that subscribe button. We release new senior health content every week, always research-backed, always practical, always free. Share this with someone you care about. A spouse, a sibling, an aging parent. You never know which piece of information arrives at exactly the right moment in someone's life. And drop a comment below. Do you already eat broccoli regularly? Have you tried broccoli sprouts? I'd love to hear what's working for you and what questions you still have. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next one.